وَكَانَ لَهُ ثَمَرٌ فَقَالَ لِصَاحِبِهِ وَهُوَ يُحَاوِرُهُ أَنَا أَكْثَرُ مِنْكَ مَالًا وَأَعَزُّ نَفَرًا. Suratul-Kahfi, Surah number 18, ayat number 34. Wakana. So kana means it's a past tense sentence, and was something like that, and we'll see where we can fit that was. Lahu is he had, because it's a past tense, otherwise lahu would have been he has. Thamarun, fruit, and he had fruit. Now, in the previous verse, we had described, I think the previous two verses, we had described about the gardens, primarily the gardens, and primarily the two types of fruits, grapes and dates. And he also described about the farm. So this was described. So the primary, the fruit, and so it is being hinted at, and he had fruit. But is it just restricted to that meaning alone? No. Just as in the English language we say the fruit of his labor, in that sense, the fruit of his labor. So here too, that is intended. I mean, he had fruit, fine. So what gravity is this verse conveying then? So that fruit is, its use could be linguistically literal, but more importantly, more significantly, the use is primarily intended for indicating the fruit of his labor. That's what we suggest. And he had fruit, including the fruit of his labor, because he had put in a lot of hard work in his farm, in his gardens. That's what it said. Faqala. Okay, faqala. So he said, the rich man, he's saying now. So he said, li sahibihi. So to his companion. So he said to his companion. Who is the companion? The poor man. So li sahibihi. Faqala li sahibihi. So he said to his companion, Wahuwa. Okay, this part is interesting. How will we do that? So wa over here is not and, but it's while. So wow can have multiple meanings. So we need to understand that. Wow halia, it says. So something is happening, and while that is happening, something else is happening. So in that case, we use the wow over here in the Arabic language. So wow is while, huwa is he, yuhawiruhu. So this will break down to explain it in a sort of iterative or recursive manner. Yuhawiruhu. So he says, so he converses with him. So the who at the end is the attached pronoun. So he is included in the you, because that's the verbal form, and the huwa is also there. So it's sort of an emphasis, and he converses with him. So the rich man converses with the poor man. That is the construct. While he converses with him, while the rich man converses with the poor man. But because the emphasis is there, it's not just converses. So the meaning is while initiating and engaging him in a conversation. So who is engaging the poor man? The rich man is. So he said to his companion, so the rich man said to his companion, the poor man, while initiating and engaging him in a conversation. So that way we get the implied meaning, the intended meaning of this construct. Wahuwa yuhawiruhu. Wahuwa yuhawiruhu. While initiating and engaging him in a conversation. So far so good. So the quotation sentence will now follow. Ana, I, or I am. Aktharu, it's an ism in the comparative pattern. It's an adjective. It's in the comparative pattern. Aktharu, I am more. Minka, than you. I'm more than you. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. So aktharu. So this is the pattern. So we say afa'alu or akhbaru. It's more, but more requires some clarification. So more in terms of what? So that clarification is coming next. Malan, in terms of money or in terms of wealth. So I'm more than you in terms of money. I'm more than you in terms of wealth. And not just that, there is adding to that in that conversation, in that same conversation, conversation. Wow, and so more than you in terms of something, and also something else. What is he saying? Wow, and a'azzu, a'azzu. So this again is the same pattern. Aktharu, af'alu pattern. Again, another comparative. I'm more strong. So this is the primary meaning, and then we'll have a secondary meaning also. But let's discuss the primary meaning first. A'azzu, and more strong in. Okay, so now this again needs a clarifier. More strong in terms of what? I mean, this still sort of is self-explanatory, but there is a clarifier over here, and that clarifies in the nasab status, because detail is supposed to be the nasab status. That is usually for verbs, but also in this case, nafaron, followers, and more strong in terms of followers. So this is the full sentence, right? It's easy, but there are some complications in the sentence as well. Now the secondary meaning is, so okay, so can there be other words which can perhaps describe this word? A'azzu, a'azzu. Yes, we can have, for example, I'm more strong or I'm more powerful. But those are the primary meaning. The secondary meaning, I'm more dear. So one aspect of it is indicating authority and power. The other aspect is indicating love. And now we need to understand nafaron as well, because there are two meanings, a'azzu. So there are two, I mean, how does it nafaran fit in this scheme of things? Nafaran is follows fine, but it could be manpower, it could be laborers, it could be the workers, it could also be tribal strength, it could be family, it could be children, it could be sons. And sons, you need to, I mean, why sons? Because in those times, he had two gardens, and it seems two big gardens. That's what it seems. He was a rich man. So you need labor basically to benefit from your property, your asset. So in terms of sons, in that sense, it is more valuable. Sons were more considered to be more valuable those days. Not so much today, but in those days you had to actually physically work, and physical strength of men are more than that of women. So, but generally the word nafaran, I mean, it's neither the word is used, nafaran specifically means son or daughter or children, not like that. It's using a generic term which has wider connotations. Again, he was rich, he was dear as well, he was strong as well, strong in terms of the manpower that he employed, and there's a certain level of authority, and the people are being benefited, the workers are being benefited. So there is an element of respect, there is an element of love, because they are earning by working with him, by working under him. So all those things are there, we need to keep in mind. So these are some of the finer points that comes through because of consideration of secondary points, and so that's interesting. We'll read it once. وَكَانَ لَهُ ثَمَرٌ فَقَالَ لِصَاحِبِهِ وَهُوَ يُحَاوِرُهُ أَنَا أَكْثَرُ مِنْكَ مَالًا وَأَعَزُّ نَفَرًا. I'll read it again. وَكَانَ لَهُ ثَمَرٌ فَقَالَ لِصَاحِبِهِ فَهُوَ يُحَاوِرُهُ أَنَا أَكْثَرُ مِنْكَ مَالًا وَأَعَزُّ نَفَرًا. And he had fruit, including the fruit of his labor. So he said to his companion while initiating and engaging him in a conversation, I'm more than you in terms of money, that is wealth, and more strong in terms of followers. So this part, while initiating and engaging him in a conversation, I have explained already, but why it's important, why this was important to be mentioned in this manner will become clear in a subsequent verse. So we'll discuss that when we reach that verse, inshallah.